Good afternoon, ladies. I forgot to push record on this morning's video when we zoomed. Had a nice time. You all were so attentive and did such a good job. Now, for me, I'm going to have to re-record it for you so you have your video tutorial. My name is Robin Brown. I'm an independent demonstrator for Stampin Up. I've been doing this for 10 years. Starting in November, it will be 10 years. On the tabletop is the schedule of classes for November. If this changes in any way, I will notify you via email. I will also email you the hostess code that goes along with that particular class. November's classes are going to be all Christmas cards. We're going to do 4 different designs. And in this particular class, I'm going to allow you to purchase extra kits up to 4 of each card at the price of $3 each. They will not be stamped and they will not have anything provided extra with them except what's in the kit, what goes for the card, minus ink, stamps, glue, adhesives, and dimensional. Should you desire to purchase finished cards, I will charge $4 each for finished cards, up to 4 of each card design. You will have to notify me in advance of November 30th that you want finished cards, because I cannot possibly finish that many cards before then in order for you to get them out in a timely manner around Christmas time. So let's start with our first card. The first card is going to be using the Blackberry Beauty Suite and its designer series paper. I want to show you first the designer series paper, both sides of it. It's just absolutely beautiful. Here's one, and here's the back side of that. There's some of these owls with touches of gold on wheat or flowers. And the back side of that looks like this. I just absolutely love this particular piece. It's some oak leaf clusters. And there's hints of, let me look at the color coordination. The leaves almost have a greenish gold tint to them. But the coordinating colors are Blackberry Bliss, cinnamon cider. So that's what that other back of this paper is, cinnamon cider and early espresso. This actually has some polished pink in here and some rich raspberry. This is cinnamon cider. There's some polished pink, rich raspberry, and raspberry. Well, rich raspberry and Blackberry Bliss. The dark is the Blackberry Bliss. The fern-looking flowers are rich raspberry. There's the back side of that one. That's definitely Blackberry Bliss and rich raspberry together. There's another foil piece. Early espresso and cinnamon cider again. And then this is the paper that we're going to be using in our first card today. Looks like a field of Queen Anne's lace with some touches of gold. And the back side is again Blackberry Bliss and Rich Razzleberry. All right, so let's get started with our first card. Card number 1 is a sympathy card. It says sorry for your loss on the front, and on the inside is thinking of you with all my heart. This is a very vanilla card stock, Blackberry Bliss ink. This is the bedazzled specialty paper that was from Celebration. And this piece started its life in that DSP, in the Blackberry Beauty DSP, as a 3x3 square. All right. So let's have a look at the kit. The kit is going to have your Blackberry Bliss cards base, your very vanilla inside layer, which is 5 1/4 by 4. The bedazzled specialty paper measures 3 inches by 4 1/4. There is a piece of the designer series paper that has been cut into 4 strips. It's also been reinforced with cardstock on the back. And if I can get them laid out, I numbered them on the back, so they should go in order. From left to right should be 4, 3, 2, 1. There's 1. There's 4, 2, and 3. So I know it's backwards, 4, 3, 2, 1, but when I had them turned over, it was 1, 2, 3, 4. So that's why they're backwards. Anyway, here's what we're going to do. First, we're going to stamp the inside sentiment, which is thinking of you with all my heart. I have it mounted in my stamp apparatus. The stamp thinking of you with all my heart is from the Peaceful Moments stamp set. And we're going to stamp that with Blackberry Bliss. Here we go. It's a little better. We're going to insert that into the inside card layer. And this is the standard 1/4 inch border, 1/8 inch all the way around. All right, there's the inside of the card. Outside of the card is very simple. You're going to take this 4 1/4 by 3 inch piece. We are going to mount it across the card. It fits from edge to edge. So I'm going to try to center this with some semblance of by eye accuracy. I'm gonna move it down to the middle. Perfect. The next thing we're going to do is lay out these pieces face down in order. 1, 2, 3, 4. And you'll remember that number 4 is going to be the first one. And I need some dimensionals. We're going to put some dimensionals on the back of these. So I don't want to cover the number completely, or I won't know which one is which unless I write it again. We're going to start by placing the number 4 in its proper place to the left side of the card. About, I would say that's about 3/8 of an inch from the edge. So this is number 4. I'm going to put it about 3/8 of an inch from the edge. Nice and tall and straight for me. And then we're going to take number 1 about the same distance from the edge. Then I'm going to set these other pieces in here just for spacing. To see if I have left enough room, and I think I have. I think I'm going to move the outer 2 out just a hair. And since this is the bedazzled paper, it moves very easily. So won't have any trouble taking them off and moving them a little bit. Okay. Now, that's the this goes here. And nevertheless, the numbers that are on the back, whatever you do, the pieces will line up as if they were originally stuck together. So that's the goal, to get them to look like a panel painting rather than a put together painting. This is the last piece. To make that evenly spaced as best I can. Could go up toward the top a little bit more. Now we're even across the top. Alrighty, then in your kit is a label and 2 gems. The label we are going to stamp with "Sorry for Your Loss" from the Heal Your Heart. Here's that right here. I'm also going to stamp that in Blackberry Bliss. Get it nice and centered. I can. Ready? That's pretty good. Now, on the back of this one, I want to put some small, if you have the mini dimensionals, that will work. But I'm going to put a couple edge pieces just on the very tips of these labels. I want them to stick down as best they can. And then in the middle, I want to use glue dots. And I will put, let's put 3 of them on there. And I am just going to lay this strip of 3 of them right across this middle here. And then pull it off and the glue dots will stick. They will stick. You will stick. Wow, toughies. There they go. There's the 3 glue dots on the back. And then we're going to take the ends of the banner dimensionals off. And we're going to lay this across with the banner as straight across as we can go. There we are. And then there are 2 gems. And you can pick your choice. Boy, Stampin' Up! Has quite an assortment of gems. So, and I'm going to put those right on either side of that banner. All right. That completes that card. Now I want to, I'll just show you the inside and outside. Now I want to show you a variation on this that I made in case you don't have that designer series paper, or for some reason that you don't want to buy that designer series paper. And that's this one. This piece back here is not designer series paper. It is a piece. Let's see, it's another one. A piece of purple posy. It's another tongue twister. Oh my goodness. And it is a 3x3 size. So I'll get one of those out. And I'm going to show you how you can make this panel. It's the same style. The only thing different that I did was I used a square which measures 2x2. And I'm sure I cut that square down. Because that square is not 2x2. Let me give you the measurements. That square is 1.5 inches square. So if you want to just cut it on your trimmer, or you can find the squares, layering squares dies and cut it that way. Some of you may have a square punch. You could do it that way. And then the bedazzled paper just a little bit bigger around there. but I want to show you how you can make this particular paper yourself if you don't have the DSP. And I just took the stamp from the, what is the name of that stamp set? Because it's laying right here, Beauty of Tomorrow. And we're going to use this stamp here and this splotch stamp here. All right. Whoa, camera, take it easy. Here we go. I'm going to ink up this stamp. I'm going to put a piece of scrap paper down underneath it. I don't want to get my placemat messy. All right, here we go. We're just going to stamp this kind of around in a circle, sort of, letting that naturally fall. And let's see, let's put another bit of it right there. Okay, so that's that much of it. And we're going to take, oops, I'm going to take the splotch stamp, lightly stamp some splotches as fillers in there. And you can put some stamped off ones in there if you like to. All right, takes care of that. Then we're going to get out our blending brush. Here. And we're going to blend some color into this. This is Blackberry Bliss. Let's do it lightly. I just love these blending brushes. They're a wonderful addition, so much smoother than sponge daubers. This is kind of a must-have tool now, I think. I'm working on getting enough for my whole collection of stamp pads. One for every color. You can wash them out and use them. It's just that, oh, I'm kind of lazy sometimes. Don't like to do that. All right. So there is the piece that we will then cut. If you want it darker, you can make it a little darker. We will then cut that into 3/4 inch strips. 4 of them, 4 3/4 inch strips. This is cardstock, so it doesn't need reinforcement on the back. And these here, you'll find your pieces have been reinforced by me gluing this piece to a piece of cardstock so that it gives it some strength, because I thought the paper was too floppy. So the cardstock doesn't need that. So you just do that the same way. And you can also turn this card so it opens from the side. And I made this birthday, and it says, wishing you a little extra happiness just because you're you. So that is 2 ways to do it. So there was card number 1. That's the way it'll come in your kit. This is an alternate version of card number 1. And then I made one more because you'll have some scraps and pieces of that bedazzled paper and your cards and your designer series paper when you're done. So here I took a piece of rich raspberry and used that as the card base. And I mounted the scrap pieces with Blackberry Bliss frames. And then you can make this whatever you want. You could put your diamond on here and make this a birthday card. However you like. I mean, that's just an alternate version. If you don't have the bedazzled paper, which came from Celebration, if you don't have that, use some of the silver foil, or change it up and use gold foil, because these are gold on there. And this is kind of like this bedazzled paper is kind of a champagne-y color. So it's a little bit silver, a little bit gold. All righty. So that's the end of card number 1. Here is card number 2. It uses another piece of that beautiful designer series paper. This one I think kind of looks ferny or wildflower-ish, kind of. I stamped this with a sentiment from Pansy Patch. And no, I'm sorry, take that back. It's not in Pansy Patch. Where is that? It's in Punch Party. This was a Celebration stamp set, but you know, it's a birthday sentiment that you can put any birthday sentiment in there that you like. But I like the way that this was florally. It says, sending you smiles for every moment of your special day. So that's where we begin with card number 2. Now the die cut piece on this card is cut from the new shimmer vellum. And this is the gold shimmer vellum. Can you see it kind of sparkle? Yes, there it is. It's beautifully sparkly. It's very delicate, and it was cut out with a die called Encircled in Beauty. It coordinates with the Encircled in Beauty stamp set. So that would be the, let's see if the dies are in this. This is, yes, there, it's called Encircled in Friendship Bundle, or it is called the Encircled in Beauty Dies. Encircled in Beauty Dies. That's what I used to cut that out. It cuts out on vellum very easily. I stamped my sentiment, happy birthday, which is from Peaceful Moments, I believe. Yep, that would be that one there from Peaceful Moments. I made these, cut that out with the layering circle dies. And then I sponged around the edge with a sponge dauber. I did make these into stickers for you, so you will have to sponge the edges and stamp them after you take the sticker off the sheet. Well, you can stamp it while it's on the sheet, but to sponge the edges, it's easier to stamp the edges while it's easier to daub the edges while it is off of the sticker sheet. Wow. So I have the sentiments queued up in my Stamparatus. Right here. Put a magnet on. And the magnet here. Pull it down. Going to use some Blackberry Bliss ink. Of course, since this is a Blackberry Beauty Bundle. Lovely, that's stamped. Just going to put that on the inside of the card. Eighth-inch border all the way around. Now the front piece is going to have a ribbon attached right across the middle. So we're going to put a little bit of adhesive on this back piece. Then we're going to make sure your flowers are going upward, they're not growing down. We're going to put our gold foil ribbon, which is also it's part of this suite that you get when you purchase the entire suite of the Blackberry Beauty Suite. And then we're going to put this piece on the card front. Try to get it straight. And some dimensionals on the back of here. I like to try to straddle the ribbon. Put it on there. And then you just attach that right square in the center on the front. Straight. There you go. That's that. Card number 2, finished. The paper does the work for you on these particular cards. And to show you another variation that I made on this card, because I don't like to waste any scraps. There was some scraps left over. And you can make the card go this way, but these flowers are growing sideways. So I turned the card sideways. And this is just a little piece of extra scrap of that paper that was cut off. And I thought, well, that would be a good accent at the end of this piece here. And you can turn that into anything you want. You can put an encircled in beauty medallion in the middle, or you could make a diamond like on that first card and turn it into birthday, or this would make a lovely anniversary card. You could put a big 50 on here and make it a beautiful anniversary card. So that's how I use up some of the scraps that I get. Card number 3. Happy Thanksgiving. That's going to be using the Curvy dies, the Quite Curvy stamp set, and the Well Worded dies. I believe that's the name of that set. I'm sorry, it's called Word Wishes Dies. And that's number 149629. It's got a plethora of different words in it. This one happened to be Thanksgiving, but it has St. Patrick's Day, Valentine's Day, Halloween, New Year's, Thanksgiving. Here's a happy. This one is Christmas. This is Day. This is Mother's. This is Easter. And this is Mary. So you can make all kinds of different sentiments by just die cutting the words out and gluing them to the front of your card. Now I did take and make the words that I made you for your kits into stickers so that you could easily get them on your card. So you'll have a pumpkin pie card base, a brushed gold metallic layer. You'll have a stencil and a die cut from those leaves and the inside piece. Now the inside is going to be stamped with thankful for all good things. This way, the way it goes. I'm going to stamp this inside sentiment in early espresso. Could be done in black as well, but I kind of like the looks of the early espresso. Oops, not right. There it goes in this direction. That would have been a boo-boo. Okay. It goes in this direction. To give that another dose. Alrighty, it still needs a little more on that bottom word. The word good didn't come out clear, so let's give that a good press right there. Much better. Okay, so that's the inside of the card, which we can put aside for now. Put it away. And the next thing we are going to do is we're going to stamp this leaves, the group of leaves. So your kit comes with a die cut and a stencil. So when you're trying to position this, you put your stencil over here in the corner. You lay your stamp in the stencil and you can kind of wiggle it just a little just to make sure it's in there good. It shouldn't have a whole lot of wiggle to it. Then you're going to put your plate on and pick the stamp up with the plate. That got out of control easily, but that happens. So as long as you put it all the way back in the corner, you should be good. Now check that. I think we're good. We'll give it a go. Again, early espresso. You could also use the Memento black. Oh, you need to put your die cut piece into the frame. All right, and I have a piece of sticky tape here, double-sided sticky tape, to hold that frame down so it doesn't wander on me. Again, fingerprints. Oh my goodness. All right. How do we do? Pretty good. All right, then you pull your piece out and you have your stamped leaves. Alrighty. Let's go ahead and put the layers on the card. This is the inside layer. 1/8" border all the way around. Okay. Now the card front requires a piece of this brushed gold metallic paper. This is for 5 3/8 by 4 1/8. So it only has a very skinny 1/16" border all the way around. That's not quite far enough over. Started right. There we go. All right, then you have 2 pieces of the curvy dies. These were cut from a 5 1/4 by 4" piece of old olive. Put there in your kit. I don't put any glue over the holes. You could put dimensionals on these. However, when you go to put the words on, the words look kind of roly-poly. They go up and down a hill. So I opted for flat instead. And you want to make sure that you get this on there with both of the set of holes toward the center. And again, that just gets a little 1/16" border on the sides and the bottom. And there you are with that. Now we're going to work on our leaves. We're going to use some Mango Melody, some Pear Pizzazz, some Pumpkin Pie, and some Calypso Coral. Let me get these opened up here. Mango Melody, which I just re-inked and it's kind of lumpy looking. Here's the Pear Pizzazz. Here's the Calypso Coral. And here's the Pumpkin Pie. And I'm going to start out by using the Pear Pizzazz. And this isn't a blender brush, a different brand of blender brushes. But these were actually makeup brushes before they became used on people as artist brushes. So, and they just work. They don't leave that little, when you rub it off over here, they don't leave that little target, I think that's what I'm going to call it, that some sponge daubers make. All right, so we're going to put that one away and we're done with Pear Pizzazz. I'd use Old Olive there. Old Olive gave me quite a bit of what did it give me? Quite a bit of strong, real strong color. So now I'm going to use some Pumpkin Pie, and I just barely touched that here, but now I'm going to rub some Pumpkin Pie in next to my green. Some of it's overlapping the green. That's okay. And I put a little bit of it down here just for fun. And then a little down here too. Then the last one I'm going to use. Oh, we got 2 more to use. Now it's Pumpkin Pie. All right, so Mango Melody. I think this is kind of cool that you can see what color it is though by having color coordinated. You know what you could also do? You know, you have those extra labels on the bottom of, see here? You could take that and put it on the back of your blender brush. That would be cool. I think I thought of something. Let's see if anybody else has thought of it too when I post it on the demo site. All right, and then the last one is going to be Calypso Coral, and it's kind of a reddish orangish color, and I'm going to just blend that in kind of all over just to give it a, now you have to remember, and right here I got that situation. I don't know if that's going to show up. Let me hold it up. See where I pressed a little too hard and the brown ink kind of bled together. It actually blended together. So if you could use the Tuxedo Black Memento ink instead, you probably will not get that same color mush that I just got. All right, I think that looks fall. Looks like fall. So we'll say we're done with that. And then I'm going to take my placemat and turn it over. All right, so we're going to take this die cut piece, put some adhesive on it, adhesive of your choice, and I'm going to place it on here so that it sort of follows the curve of the card. And then I made you some stickers when I made I used the adhesive sheets and I put some pale papaya cardstock on it. And then I cut out these words. And if you will look right here in the bag, these are the two little pieces that dot the two eyes in the word Thanksgiving. You see them? Let's see. There they are. So you're going to be on the watch for those. And you're just going to peel off the sticker on the back. If you don't have adhesive sheets, you can always just use Tombow glue. And you're going to want to put these on at a similar angle. So here's happy. And then Thanksgiving, I'm going to want to put on like so. So they're kind of parallel. All right. So let me take the sticker off, backing off of that and get it put down. It's helpful. So I think I'm going to. All right, so let's try to get that at the same kind of angle. Is it the same kind of angle? Yeah, it's pretty good, yeah. All right, so now I'm going to try to get these eyes on here. I don't know if I can get the backing off of them to get them stuck, but we're going to give it a go. I must be crazy, huh? You think? No, that backing came off when I went to pick it up. So if you're unsure that that's going to stick, go ahead and put a little dab of glue on it. And let's see what we get when we move this one. Yep, the back came off. If you just slide it over on the paper, and then you'll be able to pick it up still. And here's the other eye. But don't panic. You can always make yourself a little dot and use the smallest circle punch you have. Okay, so then There's your inside, and then you're done. That's the end of card 3. The last card for today is a Christmas card. I got the design for this from a gal named Debbie Chronister. She is also a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator, not in this state though. So, but I do watch some of her videos and see what's in our kit here. On this kit, I use the stitched rectangles framelits dies. And I used the delicate lace borders dies. Now I used this particular die because I did not have the die that Miss Chronister used in her card making. So I opted to do it that way. And I was going to show you those encircled in beauty cards from before. So this is the set that I made that medallion in the center of the one card with. And I think that, oh, the snowfall dies from a while back. They're not current either, but there's plenty of snowflake dies. And you could even use the festive flurry die from way back in time. So this is the snowfall dies are like this. And I swore I wasn't going to buy any more snowflake dies. And then I ended up doing that. But these were 6-pointed ones. So I definitely thought, hey, they finally got that right. So I used this one here to cut out this beautiful snowflake. Like I say, any snowflake will do. And there's also, Miss Chronister used pre-made snowflakes that are in the catalog. And if I can point them out to you, they're in the holiday catalog. And they are right here. It's hard to see on that page. Right there. They are called Wonderful Snowflakes, and they're kind of iridescent, like holographic on one side. And the other side, she says, has a like a, you know, you can tell on here, has a creamy color, like a touch of crumb cake kind of. And you can see that, or you can color the backside with your alcohol markers, your blends markers. All right, so that's those. That's number 156340, and you get 24 snowflakes for $6. All right, so you start with a card base. Don't we always start with a card base? Oh, I also used with this card to make the holly and berries. I used the Stampin' Up! Holly border punch. And I ran a set of green through to get the leaves, and then I put another piece of red through, which gives you red leaves and red berries. And I only saved the berries. So it also has a little stem there. Now, I was not going to get into it. It's bad enough that I got the berries, the berries involved. So I took a sentiment from the stamp set called Unto Us, For Unto Us. Yes, For Unto Us. And I used this, sharing with you the glory, wonder, and miracle of this holy season. I like my Christmas cards to reflect the holy reason for the season rather than the commercial reason for the season. Although the commercial's fun too, but so I'm stamping this with my go-to color for red sentiments is Cherry Cobbler. If they get rid of Cherry Cobbler, I don't know what I'm gonna do. And I just stamped the inside of the card with that. A lot of things in here that I left. Okay. This is my stencil for another project that I did a while back. Okay, so we have the internal sentiment done. Now, let's do the outside. First, we're going to take this piece, which started its life as a 5 3/8 by 4 1/8. All right, so you have a little 1/16 of an inch border around there. I know you guys are going to say, what's with all the small borders lately? Well, it's just the way, the better way the card looked that way. So what can I say? It also, the die was the perfect size for cutting this, what I considered evenly. All right. Okay. So far, so good. Now you have this piece here. This piece measures 5 1/4 by 3 3/8 inches. And the reason it's 3 3/8 inches is because if it was any bigger, it would cover up this beautiful stitching that's in that die. There they are. There's the stitching. And I didn't want it to cover that. So these particular pieces were from the DSP that was available during Celebration, and it was called, so the paper that's in the center of the patterned paper is from this pack that was during Celebration. It's called Peaceful Prints, right? It's beautiful paper, but it has all these different designs inside. So I just picked some traditional kind of colors. And Debbie Chronister used Mossy Meadow and Old Olive. And then she used one of those iridescent snowflakes. I wanted something that looked a little bit more traditional Christmas. So here's the snowflake that comes in your kit. And then these are, let me see, I'm going to show you which dies. The DSP is cut with this size. So it's the third one in from the outside, second one out from the middle, however you want to put that. It's like this one. And then the next piece is for the backgrounds. Backgrounds. Okay. And then you will use this piece to help make your tag for the middle, and I'll show you how to do that. So let me put these in my retainer cup so I don't lose them. And that's magnetic to my table. So we're going to put the red on the red, and we're going to put the green on the green. On this one that has dark green plaid in, I thought we would put that on the, it's either Shaded Spruce or Almost Ever, or Evening Evergreen, I believe the name of it, Evening Evergreen. The shaded spruce is a little bit more toward the blue color, and this is the Evening Evergreen. So we just put them right in the center. And just right smack dab in the center. That's not real straight, Robin. You do want to have those straight. There we go. That's better. And this one. Now you could put a darker red on this one. If you wanted, you could use cherry cobbler. I didn't have any cherry cobbler paper, and I didn't think it was necessary for some reason. I liked the difference in the green, but not so much with the red. Don't know why, but that's the way I did it. That's the way your kit will be. There we go. That one more. And you could use either side of the paper. You can use whatever color paper you want. She also did a non-traditional piece in it was pinks and blues and minty colors. It's really kind of pretty. All right. So the next thing you're going to do is lay out your pattern in the order you want it. I like this order here. And I'm going to move this down here and move these up here so you can see them. And I'm going to take, this is the background piece for the front. And the first thing you're going to do is take the piece that goes all the way to the right. And I do this just because it's easiest for me to see. If you're left-handed, you may want to try the left first. But this is going to get that same little 1/16 of an inch border. So you're going to put it on there. So you get that 1/16, top and bottom. And I'll show that to you. See how it's top and bottom? Just a little 1/16 of an inch. Then you'll take the next piece, put your adhesive on it. Much there. And this one is just going to butt right up against this other one. But you're going to need to make sure that they're even on the top and the bottom with the first piece you put down. So make sure you get that first piece even. There's no space here. The next one is this, I've decided was Evening Evergreen. And that also gets just butted right up to the other one. Make sure your trees are going in the growing in the direction that you want them in. But I suppose if you messed that up, you could turn the whole thing around. Either way, make sure your trees are the way you want them, because the trees are a directional pattern. All right, and then when you put this last piece on, if I've measured right and if you've done it right, it should just leave a little bit of a 1/16 inch border there. And it looks like I could have started over a little bit bigger. So that's a little bit bigger on one side than the other, but not too terrible. And the way I'm going to fix that is to just shave. And I mean shave. Oh, not quite that way. Shave a hair off of there. Now that looks bigger. And that could have been a wrong cut on the first paper, or it could have been the way I started the first one. But anyway, we've got it now. All right. And that gets adhered to this red border piece. And it's also just going to have that skinny little border around it. So you're going to have to get used to that skinny little border. Trees growing up. And not covering the stitching. There we go. Perfect. All right. Then on your snowflake, I don't know how I lose dimensionals all the time. Here they are. I'm going to put 3 dimensionals on here. If you use the small dimensionals, you could put one on each arm of the star if you wanted. That would be helpful. Now, I like to place this so the snowflake is pointed. This point and this point are directly over the center of the card. You could put it this way, but it does make a difference in the look of the card. It makes it look more square. So it's just however you want it to go. I'm going to put it with that big point up toward the top. And so it's going to hang over just slightly into the bottom. The next thing you're going to do is you're going to take the label that I've made. Now, what I did is I took this larger label, which is the same label that you use on the back for the background behind here. And I cut out a piece of white with it. Then, after I cut it out, now this piece is would be another 3/8 of an inch bigger. Then I decided how wide I wanted it by the size of my stamp. And so I measured my stamp. And then I laid this on here like this larger die, and cut it right here in the middle. Or maybe it wasn't the middle. Maybe it was a little bit off from the middle, but 3/8 of white kind of hung down here. Then I ran it through the big shot that way, and it cuts stitching on both sides, on this side and on the other piece that also came off the same piece of paper. Sorry. Okay, so I used the Merry Christmas from Poinsettia Petals. It's this one down here, which is much bigger than the cover. The cover is shown at, I think it's only 75%. Anyway, that's the Merry Christmas I used. And that's what I measured to see how big my tag needed to be. And so I have a piece of double-sided tape here. Oops, you can't see. I have a piece of double-sided tape right here so that it's sticky. And I'm just going to make it square by butting this label up to this other piece of paper that's already in there. And the edge of the Stamparatus. Again, I'm going to get out my cherry cobbler. I just love it for Christmas sentiments. And I'm going to stamp that label. right, now, first thing I'm going to do is put a dimensional under this piece of snowflake. Now, if you use the snowflake the other way, you're going to have to put the dimensional in a different place. But you'll see what I mean in a minute. And you have to take the back off of both sides. So the snowflake is kind of setting on here, but it's held in place by that dimensional. So let me try one by taking the backing off first. It'll probably work a whole lot better. Put that dimensional right under this piece right here. Okay. That's going to make sure that that snowflake doesn't smush when we attach this label with some glue dots. So I'm going to get out 4 glue dots. Let's see if that'll stretch across. No, we'll do 3. And then I'll put an extra one somewhere. 3. And I'll put an extra one right on the end. So 4 glue dots. And we're going to take our Merry Christmas, just lay it right across. I'm going to make sure I get this straight, right across the center. Then have a little baggie with some holly berries. And like I told you, I used the holly border punch. Set a piece of green through and got green holly. And then I set a piece of red through and got the red berries. So for this, you're going to want you're going to want a pick-me-up tool, whether you use our pick-me-up or you use a pair of tweezers or you use a Q-tip with a little bit of Tombow on the end of it that you let to air dry so that it's sticky still. Or you could even use a pin with some glue stuck to it that's dried. You know how sometimes when you're trying to clear the end of your Tombow bottle, how you get, oops, when you clean your Tombow bottle out, you sometimes get residue on the pin. Well, that pin is the pin I'm talking about possibly using. All right. Okay, we're back to being where I need to be. So you have 2 bigs and 1 little for each little holly bundle. All right. And I'm going to put a dot of glue on top of each one, like so. Just a tiny little bit. The pointy piece on holly is the stem rather than the top of the leaf. And then I'm going to pick this up and I'm going to put it right under the label a little bit. So the glue is under the label. And we're going to put 2 big ones on, kind of spread them out a little bit. And 1 little one right. It's fiddly right there. All right. Same thing down here on the bottom. For me, it's easier to stick my big fingers in the way. actually. Been using the tool, so I'll use that way. That way. Get those to stick out a bit. Last one you kind of turn over and stick on top. Oop, fan that out a bit. All right, then you want to put, there's 6, supposed to be 6. There's only 5 here. I wonder what happened to the 6th. Is it still in the baggie? No. One of my jobs to count out 6 little dots, and I didn't count that high. Anyway, we're going to put 3 dots here in kind of like a triangle, so that you can put your holly berries right on them, like so. And since there's only 2 here, I'm only going to put 2 dots, but you should have enough to put 3 on each. I'll probably find one laying on the floor, so we can always add that later. Put your holly berry there. Wait for it to stick a little bit. There we go. And a holly berry there. Let it stick a little bit. Now, I don't know if this is going to show up on camera or not, but see the holly berries? See how they're shiny? You can see that. I put some of that crystal effects that we had for the cocktails cards. I put some of that crystal effects right on those little holly berries. Just a little. Gosh, the tiniest little bit. Like so. And now you're going to have to leave that set to dry. You don't want any sticky berries. All right. And that's all there is to that. All right. So there we are. If you want to include this card as a choice of Christmas cards, that would be fine. Hey, look what I found. I found a holly berry. Yay. Now what did I do with the glue? There we go. And put one more little teeny dot of glue up there. Oh, now I lost it again. I must have picked it up on my hand. Exciting. I don't know where it went. There it is. You probably all could see that in the camera. I couldn't. There we go. 3, and now it needs some crystal effects as well. There we go. Alrighty. So yeah, so just tell me, this would be, I would call this Christmas panel with gold snowflake. If you want that as a choice of cards. Now, like I said, a card kit is $3. If you want a finished card just like this, it's going to be $4. A finished card, I will also have to put an angel policy stamp on the back, which is just a little tiny, it looks like this, tiny copyright Stampin' Up. And if I stamped that on the back, well, on a white card, I usually use like a light color. But this is what the emblem looks like. All right. So it's very, well, it was upside down. So it's very tiny, but it's stopped right in the middle of the back of the card. And then I can sell a finished card to you. Okay. So you let me know how you want to do it. You will get one unfinished card kit for sure for free with your $35 purchase. Beyond that, if you want extra card kits up to 4 of each pattern, You could also purchase just one extra card, whatever. A finished card is $4. An extra card kit is $3. And you get one card kit free with your $35 purchase. Okay? So it's been wonderful hanging in with you. I hope that you enjoyed today's videos, and I hope that everything comes out correct this time with the recording, and I will say goodbye for now. Thank you. Merry Christmas.